With war rolling Atlas Thug, we here to bring the truth. Jar open this podcast, we breaking through the fake news. They try to silence us, but we won't be subdued. We're bearded alpha males here to save the youth. Spitting fire on the mic with the bass, Christian takes. Exposing the lies, keeping the demons at bay. We ain't afraid to speak up, we won't be swayed. Jar open this podcast, where the truth is laid. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas Thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. We ain't playing games, we're on a mission to awaken the masses with our intuition. Pulling out the corruption with no inhibition. Jar open this podcast, sparking a revolution. We're not afraid to stand tall in a world full of deceit. We're the voice of reason, bringing light to the street. Keeping it real, never missing a beat. Jar open this podcast, where the truth meets the heat. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas Thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. Jar open this podcast, where the truth will never cease. Join us on the journey to bring back peace. We're rolling Atlas Thug, fearless in our release. Jar open this podcast, where the lies will decrease.
Yo, yo.
Up.
What's up, man?
I feel like I'm sprinting. I literally had a whole setup for a stream for today, because today was supposed to be my kind of fun, non-serious stream where I was going to do some scary videos, because I'm starting a series called, One Christian versus Scary Videos.
Yeah,
And
yeah, those
then,
are cool.
as I'm in the middle of work, I see all of my timeline on Twitter blowing up, and then I see what's Elon's tweeting, and I was like, holy shit. So I basically cut my workday a little bit short to try to throw together some idea of what the hell was going on, because seemingly kind of out of nowhere, we went from an okay relationship with Elon and Trump to they are batshit like crashing out on each other right now, and the whole public is watching. So I had to scramble. So hopefully I brought some people over from my show joining us over here on the Jar Opener podcast. I couldn't believe how many concurrent viewers I had for the Elon versus Trump. It was pretty awesome. But yeah, excited to get into it while I got the time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a good show. I was listening while I was setting up this thing and building the what's it called, thumbnail, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, welcome in some new faces. Appreciate you guys for coming over and checking out the live show. I know Atlas does live on his channel as well as the standalone. And I do standalone videos on my channel, America First TV. Links all in the description and all that stuff. Nice to meet you guys. Already subscribed. Shop. Cool, man. Appreciate that. Nice to see you. I don't know if I've ever
I
don't know if I recognize you. But yeah, man, cool to have you here. Just to let everybody
up on screen.
What's that?
You want to throw the chat up on screen?
Yeah, my bad. All right, now all the chat will come in as it'll show up. The new chats will, at least. And what's up, Jamie? But yeah, kind of threw together an emergency stream, as we normally stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. With all the stuff going on, like you said, it's like, man, we gotta jump in on this and check it out, because man, this is going 90 miles an hour, and it's just a MAGA meltdown essentially going on.
Right.
What's up, Abigail? Hey, Donnie.
One thing I meant to ask too, because I'm curious how the chat feels as well, and you as well, because we didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
Where's people's heads at, right? Like, if you had to pick, are you on Team Elon or are you on Team Trump, or you're team neither, right? Like, where's everybody's heads at on this? I'm sure most people probably have I think most people, maybe normies, have an immediate go-to with either one or, but I'm curious how chat feels.
Yeah, it's a good question, because I didn't mean to do that. We're not pulling up the screen yet, but yeah, it's a good question. I'm curious what everybody thinks. I can actually let me move this out of the way, and I can set up a poll. Hey, give me a second. I'll just set up a poll for you guys.
Yeah. And no. While you're at it, also there's really bad feedback.
From me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Huh. Interesting. Okay. I'll
Hopefully it's not. No, it's still doing it.
Still doing it. Okay.
What about now? Yeah.
Let me see.
Double check on my end.
Say, I'm not hearing anything. You got a phone maybe or something?
Is it from me?
Oh, did you shut down OBS or maybe something like that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you would have had to for your mic or for your camera to work. Give us a second. We'll see while you're working on that if I can get this poll set up. Don't forget to set your guys' chat to all messages as well. Where's the start of poll thing? I thought it was right here.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Anyways, I don't know. I can't figure out the Oh, hey, what's up, Native Patriot? Yeah, we're working on an Echo right now. Atlas was just streaming on his own channel, and then we pulled together this one. But it's nice to have you here, bud. You guys have been doing good job over on your channel. So make sure you guys check out Native Patriot on YouTube as well. He's kicking butt on X and moving over to YouTube, and he definitely on the right side of things and deserves the support. But yeah, man, whenever you get time, I'm not the type of person that likes to push into people's lives. So I know we've been talking in text, and whenever you get a chance, dude, give me a shout and we'll get together and figure out something. I really do want to set up like a minor league style, Rumble lineup kind of to counter what the big guys are doing. For fun, also help each other out, do some collabs. I know you got some good guys in your Patriots Prayer Network and all that stuff. And, the more that we can help each other out, the better off we're all going to be for it, essentially. So, yeah, man, appreciate you stopping in and making a comment.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, it's on your end. I killed everyone on mine.
Okay. Which is weird that I can't hear your echo at all on my end. So it's confusing me. What it would even be. Let me pull the stream up real fast on my phone.
Yeah. The crowd's hearing it. Dude. It's hard for me to even anything because it's so aggressive.
Oh yeah, okay, I hear it. It's like you got two mics picking up your audio.
Right. Yeah, because like my audio is competing into yours. And so that's why I'm coming out.
It shouldn't. It's coming through my headphones. Let me see. Let me. Was it doing it at the very beginning, everybody?
It changed when you brought the other screen up.
Okay, well, let me. That's what I was just wondering about. Let me stop sharing screen. I'll try it again.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay, so one of your tabs has audio connected to it. There we go. That's why. That's what it was. Oh my god! I couldn't speak for like the last 5 minutes for whatever reason.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that, dude. I know what that's like trying to talk and hearing yourself reverberate back. It's just like you say a word, you got to stop and listen. So my bad.
No, you're totally fine. What I wanted to catch up on, because I know the chat's kind of flying through, that is something to point of note. Shad actually pointed that out, and I talked about it a little bit on the stream while I was there. The right before this, which was brought to me by House, was Zero Hedge had an article talking about how Trump is dumping all of his Zionist hardliners. Like he's getting a hard separation away from all the war hawks that are, pro-Israel for abundance of reasons, which is something of note here. Like if that's even tangentially tied to what's going on right now with the Elon crash out, I mean, what does that say about what's going on? And it seems most people are team neither. I think it's hard to have a side here, because I'm curious what is, at the end of this, what are we going to get, right? And I think most simply, the practical effectiveness of the Trump administration is over. The momentum of the Trump administration over. And I think this is kind of like that big sticker that says, here's all your momentum. This is where you lost it all. And this is what I was fearful of, right? Of like not getting things while we had everybody on our team, right? For the most part. And now here we are where people are jumping ship, right? You're already getting the Ian Miles Chongs and the Elon Musks and all the whole Elon Glazer kind of, internet sycophants coming over and being like, oh yeah, we agreed with you the whole time. And then you have Thomas Massey and Rand Paul in there, which again, I do agree with for the most part with Thomas Massey on the framing of the bill and some of what Elon has said too, but I do understand the more technical arguments like House put out, right? The defeated nature of like the reconciliation bill versus sending it back and then ultimately having the Democrats come back in and getting a say if you push this bill out further along. And so it's really in a tough spot. And I think this kind of really marks the beginning of the end of I think what the MAGA movement is. Because I think most people recognize that Trump will be the last face of it. Even if JD Vance were to assume the face of MAGA, it would evolve because it's not going to
Yeah.
carry the same energy that Trump would have. So the MAGA movement as we know it, I mean, this is the tail ends of it, and it looks like it's burning out.
Right. I wonder, as it relates to that, Trump will still be around. He won't be president. So I wonder if he's just going to like linger around politics or if he's going to do what, you and I would probably do, which would be to just golf and enjoy your late 80s and the rest of your life, right?
Exactly.
What I think everybody should do, to be honest. If he sticks around and has the energy and the will for that, there might still be, it might linger a bit longer, potentially. But really, yeah, I think there's going to be a big shift or something. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right.
Some type of adjustment. It's just kind of inevitable. I'm gonna try to put this back on. So if it echoes, we'll figure out something else. We'll have you stage stuff or whatever. But
Word.
all right. How about that? Is that
Yep.
it's fine? Or is it echoing?
Echoing.
Dang. Okay. It's so weird. I don't know what it is about it. So I'll take it
You
away.
don't have me playing on your account, do you?
Maybe I got so many tabs open. Let me go through them all. My
I'd
bad.
imagine it's one of them.
Yeah, my
Like
bad.
the YouTube or the X is like playing somewhere.
Yeah, it's got to be that. That's muted. All right.
Yeah, give us some hand signals instead of talking. Yeah, totally could. I guess I did see a little bit though of what you had said there in the Discord. Like your rebuttal back to Trump being on the Epstein files. I guess what did you make of like my argument like to that? Where, the Democrats didn't choose to do so because it would bring the whole tent down, not just Trump.
Well, for those that haven't heard or weren't watching your show, potentially,
Yeah.
kind of give you a rundown if you don't mind repeating yourself, and forgive
Yeah.
us those that heard it already.
Yeah, so the common argument that we were getting through basically probably around like 2016, through the era of Trump is literally Hitler. What we saw for the most part was literally anything they would throw at Trump, right? This is where you get the famous moments of like, did Trump, did Trump kick a puppy across the White House lawn? And it's like Snopes fact check, like true, and it's like all this like literally anything they could go after him for, they would attack him for, which formed this kind of theory that as much as Donald Trump was kind of loosely involved with Epstein, and there are videos and there are photos, that the belief was if he really was implicated with Epstein to the level that most people kind of feel anyone would be implicated with Epstein, that the Democrats would have went full speed ahead and would have dumped that, would have had it on the front page of news, and they would have used that as the anchor in their argument for why Trump can't be in power.
Right.
But my argument against that was in parroting an argument too from, I believe, also Joel Webbin and Woe, and there's somebody else who kind of made this point out too, which is that their belief was no, that's not the case. Well, if you would go after Trump with the full weight of evidence that's backed up by the Epstein case, that actually you would give validity to the Epstein case being as powerful and as far reaching as many people describe it to be. And thus that would prompt people to then go investigate it thoroughly, which would, in our ideal, bring both parties down because both Democrats and Republicans, as well as other financial elites, would be implicated in it. And I think that's probably closer to the truth, which is they're still kind of always going to protect their own in a sense, but in a way of, if we go after Trump with this, I mean, we're next down the line, so we can't even use this. And then maybe there's more value in keeping the whole thing secret in general. And then you take that and compare that with what we see with the turnaround from Dan Bongino and Kash Patel having a complete flip of their view of the Epstein case, which went from there's no video footage and now we've seen the file, we believe it to be true, and then on top of that, oh, we've seen the video, we'll get it for you guys soon. And I think most people just aren't buying that. And I went back to the Tim Pool hypothetical with, I believe, David Harris Jr., where he said, well, what if the case was that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel were presented with a list, and it turns out maybe it was Trump, maybe it was the fact that it was every Fortune 500 company CEOs on there.
Right.
And what do you do if you were to publish that, it would wipe out a massive portion of the financial elite in the country? I mean, that would be devastating consequences. And so I think that everything what we've seen now, and Elon putting his weight, because he knows what defamation is, putting his weight behind the fact that Trump's on the Epstein files, it makes me believe that it's way more plausible than it was, I don't know, 5 hours ago.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, well, just originally the original argument that I said here, my actual comments were, wait, where's it at? I had it right there. Okay, I said, my main rebuttal are two things. One, I feel like the Democrats would have used this information to imprison Trump during Biden's 4 years, and to win the election for Biden or Kamala, which I originally think that it would have been an attempt to, keep Biden in the White House with all the auto pin, the powers the auto pin granted and stuff like that. Then number two was that I don't trust what's left of the files to be the truth after all this time, right? They've been in Biden's hands for 4 years, or Biden's FBI's hands, or whoever's hands for 4 years.
Right.
Who knows what they added to it and what they might have taken away from it. So when you combine kind of those two, it's almost like whatever they show us now has to be taken with a grain of salt or whatever, grain of sand. I don't know, a grain of salt.
No, I agree with you.
But then there's a deeper layer to it that, what if, Elon was a plant from the very beginning? I don't know, but it's a thought, right?
Yeah.
He came on at the end. He did spend something like $200 million of his own dollars to help get Trump elected, but that's a drop in the bucket. I mean, they spent $1.3 billion trying to get Kamala elected in 3 months. So, I mean, $200 million, it's, 20%, not even 20%, 15% of that probably, roughly. And so, I mean, would they, and we know Elon was a lefty before, would they play that type of long game?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't think it lends much credibility to Trump being on the list. I will remind folks, or just bring up the fact that it was under Trump's first go around that they arrested Epstein in the first place. He could have just let it be. So there's layers to it that, I just think that I would tend to think that Trump was one of these guys that was always kind of on the outs of these people's like little private groups. Like they laughed at him for not drinking, or they laughed at his hair or whatever, you know what I mean? And I think it's Donald Trump that ultimately gets the last laugh, being elected, 2+ times and whatnot to be the president of the United States.
Yeah. Well,
but
and with that too, like there's two other theories I've seen as well, and one is like big tinfoil hat, and I'll leave with that one, which is because Elon Musk is a part of the PayPal mafia and was a part of the original PayPal mafia with Peter Thiel, and with him also on top of the Epstein drop, also saying that, agreeing with Miles Chong that he needs to be impeached for Vance. What if this is a power play from the PayPal mafia to basically soil people on Trump, force them in a position where he's really only going to kind of get out of it to those who are Elon sycophants if he does post a full unredacted Epstein list, in a way to even further cement JD's kind of rise to power, to kind of cement him in, especially as it compares with how he has all the ties with Peter Thiel. Now that's one's like kind of like a very conspiratorial, right? But it makes me think maybe they joined together because like we got to get Trump out so we can get our guy all the way in. But on a secondary note, we go to like the PSYOP route, right? And I think I saw this from Wall Street Mav, which was, what if this is a PSYOP to get the Democrats to start chiming in and saying, we want the Epstein list? But at the same time, when I thought about it, I was like, I know just as many liberals who want to see the Epstein list too, because they're all just as mad about the billionaires who are part of that as well. So I guess
Right. They did come out in mass today. There's a lot of people. I saw Harry Sisson, I think the DNC itself on X.
Yeah.
A lot of people came out and said, yeah, let's release the files now that we have Elon saying that Trump is on it. They want to see it. So, you know, there's a lot of people thinking that that might be the fourth dimensional psyop, and the Elon and Trump are actually working together. But, you know, it did get people to come out en masse at least and say that, you know. So,
Right.
But like you said too, there's been people historically, you know, that have been saying, yeah, we want to see the list too. I don't even think like, well, I won't project. I don't know exactly, but I was going to say that I think I've even seen Cenk Uygur say that he wants to see the list, but I could be wrong about that part.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess maybe less so the pundit talking heads, because again, I spend so much less time worrying about what the hell AOC and Rachel Maddow are saying. But I guess I was more so thinking like the average liberal that I meet on the street, right?
Oh,
they
true.
also want to know it's like on the Epstein list too. So I guess
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking about it in terms of like the, you know, the ringleaders. I guess maybe there's more truth to that. Maybe they'll kind of demand for it or push for it. But
Yeah,
to
I
answer
wish
your
I could
shot,
share my
no, I
screen.
don't know.
I would show some of this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess anything that doesn't require sound, just
Oh yeah, I just won't include the audio. Yeah,
Yeah.
bam. That's what I'll do. I actually separated the audio from the videos from the reactions anyways. So yeah, let me do that. Good point. Good point.
And yeah, to answer Shot's question, like no, that's actually something I've been working on probably the last like 6 months is watching. I mean, I've basically absorbed the majority of Ryan Dawson's work for probably like the last year, and I'm going to be purchasing One Nation Under Blackmail Volume 2 here soon, so I can catch up on Whitney Webb's work. But there's just so much, and there's so many kind of like webs that it's so hard to kind of even keep track of. It's wild, to be honest with you. But like again, I want to have an idea and understanding, so it makes more sense when you apply it to like the current events. Yeah, that was funny too, right? Like, when's JD gonna say something out about it?
I saw that one. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta definitely put that one on the screen. And then this was great. I don't know if you guys saw this. I gotta just play it for a second and then mute it, but whoever made that. So good.
Yeah,
AI is so useful nowadays. What's that? It's good.
it's a breakup. Yeah,
Yeah.
big breakup.
Bill Gates. I thought that was funny. So yeah, well, and no echo this time.
Yeah, no echo that time.
It's weird. I'm not playing any audio on the computer.
No, I didn't have any echo, but I think you disabled the audio.
Yeah, I disabled the echo this time, so it didn't even play the song. That's right.
Yeah.
Good. I said, "I will remember you." That was the song.
I
Well,
will
listen.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
What if JD comes out straight up and agrees with Elon?
That'd be wild.
What if JD's like, you know what? Trump does need impeached. I need
Yeah,
to be in power right now so I can take over and be there with Palantir as they attach themselves for 10 years straight with no other regulation from besides federal. I doubt it. I really don't. I guarantee we're going to get some kind of super platonic statement, or the best PR strategy is to say nothing. And that's probably what JD is going to do for a couple of days, is say absolutely nothing until he's asked by somebody.
Yeah, I agree. So I got a bunch of just reactions basically lined up here. And let me get to the bottom of it, actually. I think I started with Tim Pool. Yeah, Tim Pool. he retweeted Jack Posobiec, and this was the original kind of argument. I think the common sense original argument that would come out from most of the people from the right. Sorry, I didn't put that one on there. That's but Jack Posobiec said if Trump was in the Epstein files, it would have been released a decade ago, and there wouldn't have been any need to make up a fake Russian hooker dossier whatever. And Temple agreed. Laura Loomer said he's not a predator. Do you really think the Biden DOJ would have sat on those claims? So then, there's a bunch of these, right? But I didn't put them in any kind of order. I was just compiling them and then just ran out of time. Like you threw your show together. we threw this one together too. But then you had the Democrats, at the Democrats is kill the bill and release the Epstein files. And Terrible responded or reposted and said, and just like that, Democrats are now demanding the Epstein files be released. Well played. So that's where we suggest, was this a 5D play by Trump and Elon and they're really just having drinks? I'm sorry. It's just
right. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, I would be so floored if Elon comes out and he was like, I was just fucking with you guys, dude. Like, well played. And like they dab each other up because especially with the Epstein stuff, like that is what is it? Viva Frei, because he's the lawyer there. He said it's defamation by implication. So if that statement's not true, like Trump is going to go sue Elon, right? And take even more money away from the guy. So it makes me think like I don't know, man. Like maybe you would only say that if you knew, like if you knew you were joking and the other guy knew you were joking, because we're gonna try to play this off. But I don't know, man. Those are some heavy words to say. But again, he also was a victim of crash outs pretty often. It's just hard to make up, really what's going on.
Right.
Between them two.
Right. But with the clout that Elon has with his access to the White House and everybody's information, which, realistically, what would Elon or Doge what insight would Elon or Doge have into the Epstein files? You know what I mean? More so than Dan or Cash. I don't know. I guess the last part would be irrelevant, but still,
yeah.
How would Elon get even any access to this information? Regardless. Matt Gaetz reposted Ye, said fully with Ye on this, where Ye said, "Bros, please no," and the two people hugging emoji. Says, "We love you both so much." We got some other reactions to that are coming up here. Scott Pressler, the persistent, said, "I'm thankful for both of the contributions of President Trump and Musk. We need to stay united as a family." Oddly enough, maybe the most level-headed reaction that I've seen. The Hodge twins, there's some funny ones in here. The left is about to start buying Teslas again. That one cracked me up.
Which I think to that meme, right? Of Trump putting the bumper sticker on his Tesla and it said, "Bought this before Elon crashed out."
Yeah, I think I put that in my bookmarks.
I like that one.
That one cracked. I think I put that just in this right here. This is great.
Yeah, poor Elon went crazy. That one was good, dude. That one got me.
This was great. Knowing how the left has been reacting and with their bumper stickers and everything, that one got me.
Yeah.
No, I actually put that one at the very beginning in the.
Well, go ahead. I meant to rehash what you had said earlier, because you had 2 points to your rebuttal about like the Epstein and Trump's implication of it. Yeah. And the second part was largely that even if something was given to you today, because we have had such a disconnect and no idea of the chain of custody of the Epstein files for how many years, like you wouldn't trust it in general. It's just like how you even tell whether this is real or not, or it didn't get, it's not edited, photoshopped, or in otherwise, deceptively, laid in front of you.
Right. Which I guess realistically like 7 or 8 years, but sorry, go ahead.
No, and you're right. I mean, I think there are probably some ways where you could verify, in terms of like, metadata, as well as some of those stuff, those experts do when it comes to like, certain testimonies and court stuff. But I think it largely sits on the idea as well. Like if we do get the video of Epstein doing what he was supposedly didn't do, it goes back to that Google VO argument with the AI, which is like, even the video, no one's going to believe, because they're just going to assume this was AI generated. And the reason we didn't get it for so long after being told about it is because they were perfectly crafting the most, specifically perfect, no AI, mishaps in there so that people would believe it. And I think that puts us in a really bad spot. And I even talked about this a little bit in my last video, because I think we are on the precipice of video evidence like not having weight to it, especially in terms of like the court of law.
Right.
And especially
Which is
because
crazy.
yeah, because in most cases that's the most damning thing you can provide.
Right.
But if if you're requiring that, like, there needs to be a video frame by frame, verifier expert for every court case.
Yeah.
Every court case just got extended by like a year, because the Kyle Rittenhouse one took almost like 2.5 years, maybe even longer than that, because of how much time they had to spend on the artifacting of the video evidence that was submitted. And they went back and forth over like the zooming in, right, and like how that artifacts and creates artificial frames, and like they debated on that, and like I just don't see it going well. And I think video evidence will probably move to a kind of secondary form of evidence, which puts us at like there really won't be any kind of smoking gun you can present to somebody, unless it is some kind of like document or something along those lines. And so that's just a crazy. We're going back to the Wild West of like, we're just gonna have to figure it out and just see what works and throw whatever we can at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, King Solo Wing says, or they'll have an AI tech specialist who is made by AI to handle those problems. Yeah, because like you mentioned the Kyle Rittenhouse scenario, there was some video footage that they tried to use, and there was a big controversy about the footage being admissible because it had been doctored essentially, or edited, or cleaned up.
Right.
And and now you're going to have, like you were saying with the innovations in AI. Videos that are going to look much better than what we saw in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, that are going to have a good one, Nani. Appreciate you being here, but we'll see you in the Discord. But so it's funny. There's going to have to be some type of like encryption written on every single video, like as it's recorded.
Right.
It's almost like secondarily paired with the video, and it makes like, because video evidence. That's why we have security cameras on our houses and our banks and our cars, and everything is because video security footage. But if you can fake AI from your Ring doorbell of somebody trying to break into your house, or one of these instances where like somebody gets shot at another person's front door, whether it's a mistaken identity or whatever, somebody comes out here, fakes a Ring doorbell video footage, and
right.
We don't even know what we're looking at. I mean, say somebody faked the footage of the Daniel Penny defending somebody, or fake footage of any of these like notorious cases.
Right. And I would imagine it'll be like encrypted with like geolocation data.
Yeah,
it'd probably be like, it'll match it like you were in this exact coordinate spot when this video was recorded, like some extra way or like layer to like confirm this video was taken in that specific scenario.
Right. So there has to be something, whether it's like a blockchain encryption or something. I don't know what it would be. And turn all of the video footage and pictures going forward into literal NFTs. I don't know.
And we even had with like the remember at the beginning of October 7th, right? There were all these photos being pushed around, and a couple that were supposedly like of children, some were like of animals. And we saw on X, right, people were going to like these AI photo checkers, and some results was like, this is definitely AI, and some were like, this is definitely real. And then some were like, there's an 85% chance this is AI generated. And I mean, if that's as good as what our checkers can do when it comes to like evidence, it's like, I mean, like that, I'm not going to believe it at all. Even if it says like a 99% chance, it's like that by itself brings about the definition of reasonable doubt. Maybe not 1%, but maybe they'll have to have like a standard, right? For something to be, to pass, it has to thoroughly be above like 92% chance or something like that. And even then, man, people are going to be pissed if they get, they get put behind bars and they think something's like AI generated, or it's going to be a whole, different environment. And then add on top of that too, the people who are going to be making the laws are going to be like pushing 60 and 70 and have the slightest grasp of what even is going on, in terms of AI and the whole kind of, reach and spectrum that is AI. And it's just like, it'll be a shit show before too long.
Right. And a part of this big, beautiful bill is 10-year a moratorium, or I don't know if it's a moratorium is the word, but basically free reign on AI. It blocks legislation on AI for 10 years. I
Yeah,
mean, 10 years of AI building AI is, I mean, that's Skynet, dude.
right,
You know what I mean?
right. And more importantly, it's that it centralizes it into the federal level. And I think they argue for national security interests. I'd be curious to see those arguments fleshed out a little bit more. But the fear that, like, individual states for 10 straight years have no ability or recourse to change how AI is, interacting in their own state, like that's too much of an overreach for me. That's why for me, take all the tax cuts and everything else out of the bill, doesn't matter. That by itself is a no for me. Like I can't vote for that.
Yeah, it's
Because
so
exactly what you
weird.
said, it's Skynet.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like too free. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's too free. Like give me 10 years of that. You know what I mean? I want to give that to human beings. So just weird. I don't know. It's a weird scenario. But I come up with
Right.
this. I came up with a perfect example of where AI could really, really muddle the waters when it comes to security or just video footage, right? So Trump's very fine people hoax, right?
Yeah.
He said that there's very fine people on both sides. So what if they were to like use his real footage of that
Right.
cut? Because after that in the real story he says, and I'm not talking about not directly, but he then elaborates and says, and I'm not talking about the white supremacists in whatever, right?
Right.
And so uh what if they cut it off right there and then send him on a tirade? You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then it starts with what he said, but then the second part is this, and then you have this confusion of like people saying, yeah, it's real, and other people saying, well, yeah, it's, or no, it's not. Yeah, it is.
Right.
It completely just beyond a court of law has heavy weight.
Yeah.
Heavy weight.
Yeah. The intermixing of it,
Yeah.
and make things a bit more believable. And they probably wouldn't do it with stuff that's like that old, but it would be like newer things, right?
Well, I'm
Because
just saying, like, as it happened, like,
yeah,
as it happened, like, if that
right.
happened tomorrow and then they went and did that, like, um, nobody would know
Right.
what the hell's going on at that point.
Yeah.
Just put down your phone, uh, order the old school like hardwire telephone to your house and just use that because it's
Yeah.
gone too far. There's nothing you can trust at that point. Pretty
You're not
wild.
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't know. We're in a tough spot. Like, trust me, like I get the arguments from TNT, right? Like, well, the federal level needs to have control of it, right? Because it'll be a mess if it otherwise. And like at the same time, like I would take AI's development going slow AF over the government having full reign at the federal level, where it's literally centralized to probably just one or two different intelligence agencies, while Peter Thiel is advising them on the entire project. Like that for me is like that's too much. It's way too
Well,
much power. And more succinctly, the argument for the states is the states should have the ability to decide what AI comes in and out of their state, how it interacts, how it affects their kind of infrastructure, all of it. And that goes even to like the legal systems, that goes to infrastructure. That's like on its face, it's like not even about how are they going to regulate it. It's more so how are they going to have oversight over it. And if all they can do is simply just watch what the federal government's allowed to do, that's way too far. And the reality that the Democrats could win in the next 10 years is a decently high chance. So taking the chance that you would basically cut the legs of Republican states and allow a centralized Democratic AI database to run free over Republican state, I think that's just insane. And it needs to
right.
be forced, and it needs to honestly be shot in the leg and slowed down. Because this argument that like we need to make sure we're keeping pace with China is just it's aggressive. I mean, I think what's that saying? Cut your nose to despite your face.
Yeah.
It's just moving too quickly.
Well, it was about a year and a half ago. I think it was a year and a half ago. Shoot, it might have been even longer than that.
Yeah.
It might have been right when the Dylan Mulvaney debacle was happening. I think that was about 2 years ago. Yeah, it was April Fool's Day. He's a new April Fool's. There was one of the top AI guys from Google. I think he quit and went on a media tour saying that they need to slow down what they're building. It's been a
Yeah.
while, but I remember there was something like that happened. So I mean, the fact that it's being built as fast as it is, and we got this race with China, I get all that stuff, but man, but I don't know if they know what they're actually unleashing on us, and I certainly don't want the federal government to start using AI in their world. You know, I want the
Well,
human hands on.
but think about this too, right? Like if you centralize it for that period of time and no one's basically allowed to do anything at the individual state levels, well, what happens when some major problems start happening and the only people who know what the hell to do with it is there's 10 people in a centralized federal office? I mean, that's awful. That's why it almost like it needs to be way more it needs to be like federated.
Yeah,
That way there's a lot more people who have their hands on it, a lot more people have an idea of the ins and outs of what's going on. Because say some crisis happens 4 years and we all do agree to go with this and no one's allowed to see anything. I mean, for one, if it's federalized and your only job in that AI field is going to be if you get that 1 in a million job at the federal government at the highest level, most people in general aren't going to even be pushing for it, although people will be generally interested in AI. But largely to say that the states would have to be scrambling to find people who would know what to do or even the beginning of how they could begin to fight against whatever crisis may present itself in the future. And I know that's kind of like a vague hypothetical, but again, everything with AI right now is a lot of like what ifs. And
Mhm.
so I can foresee a very negative scenario coming about. But if it is centralized at the federal level and you desperately need people who can like work against it to help different, different avenues, different industries to fight against whatever may be happening, right? Say the AI starts sending corn to everybody's homes.
Right.
But if these other states weren't allowed to even come to the table in terms of like regulation and oversight, well, then they're going to be completely, you know, sitting on their hands when it comes to like, well, who are we going to hire? What's going on? We were told that you guys were going to handle it for 10 years. And
Right.
so, there's just too many negative scenarios that can come from the centralization of that.
Yeah, it's wild, man. Um, I'm looking forward to the AI where I can make my own movies. You know, I've been working on that Matrix integration with Terminator, and I want to watch that. I don't even
Yeah.
care if somebody else makes it. I just want to watch it.
Well,
This
that's
South
like,
Park episode is going to be so good. Yeah,
yeah,
you're right
right.
about that. You're right
And I,
about that. I'm looking forward to the next round of South Park with everything that's gone on since the last round.
sorry for being distracted. I got to make sure that
No, you're good. Let's get back into some of these reactions that people had. This is all response to Elon Musk's tweet today, where it was time to drop the really big bomb at real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's a real reason they have not made it public. Have a nice day, Donald J. Trump. Then he went on and said, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." And that's when James O'Keefe reposted and said, if this was something truly incriminating, wouldn't it have leaked already? There are too many incentives to hurt Trump. This one's a funny one. Greg, he's been on top of this one today. He's been crushing it. Said breaking Tesla owners are scrambling to remove their anti-Elon stickers from their car now that he's feuding with Trump. And then he showed the Google search of how to remove a sticker from a car, and it skyrocketed. I don't know if
yeah,
that graph is true, but uh, the sentiment makes me laugh. So I'm
that's
going
funny.
with it. We're rolling with that one for sure. Uh, Phil Labonte just for F's sake, for fuck's
Yeah.
sake, right? And that brings me to the next question: Is it for fuck sake? Fuck's sake? Fuck's sakes? I don't know. I'm confused over the whole thing. So I
No, I
said
think
it a
it,
bunch of times.
no, I think it's exactly what Phil put in there. I think it's at least it's for me. And
Right?
one thing I noticed too when you had the original tweet pulled up was when I was streaming like what maybe like 45 minutes ago, there was at like
Yeah.
84 million views. It's at
Hmm.
103, and it's been not even a whole hour yet.
Oh man.
And that's
Yeah.
crazy. I
It's
mean, this might be the most
ripping.
interacted with tweet of all time. It's almost approaching nearly a million likes. I don't think I've ever seen any tweet have a million likes on it before.
Is that how many likes it has?
It's almost
Where's it?
at 800,000.
Where's it at? Oh dang. Yeah. 775. That's wild. Um. So I didn't see this response from Drew Hernandez, but he said, "Hey, Elon Musk, I'm curious if what you're saying about Trump being in the Epstein files is true. How long have you known this? Why have you waited until now? And were you planning on just sitting on this forever? Genuine questions now that you have decided to release blackmail. uh,
Yeah.
Ordering says, so you're saying you willingly worked with a pedophile and kept his secret? This smells like a massive lawsuit, my man. And yeah, that we have some more posts that kind of go along with that.
Are you invested in Tesla at all?
Me, no.
They lost 9% in an hour.
Dang. TNT canceled his Premium X today. They just recharged me last month and it went up like from 120 to 300 something. I couldn't believe it.
Damn.
Elon is a bore. Yeah, I mean, he's an Afrikaner. I don't know. I think you got to be a farmer for that to be for that to apply, Lola.
Yeah.
But he is from South Africa.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, he's got African in him. Let it shine a little bit. I mean, the crash outs can't be understated.
That cracks me up,
like
TNT.
The fourth time in a year he's had a extremely public kind of crash out or spurg out.
Yeah, TNT, I would buy Tesla today. It's dropped by 14%. Dang. Yeah, that's wild.
14%. That's wild.
So Quartering also posted on this. He says, I get why Elon Musk is mad. He has some right to be, but bro, please just pick up the phone. You told us all you love this country, and this public fight. And this public fight with Trump is terrible for that same country. Pick up the phone in all caps, like a boomer. Oh no. And then Steven Crowder, he's had this kind of little back and forth going on with Elon over his opinion on the big beautiful bill, and Crowder came out basically. I think he was claiming originally that it was going to save 1.6 trillion over 10 years, which was much more legitimate than the 180 billion that Doge has claimed to have saved, with only 30%, providing 30% receipts. So he says, as my friend Razorfist has noted, Elon didn't jump on the Trump bandwagon until he was almost legitimately killed on live TV, and Elon still waited until Joe Biden dropped out. The American people voted for Donald Trump, not Elon. And then he reposted a couple of things with Donald Trump, a couple of Donald Trump posts, and it says the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, and he knew for months I was going to do it. He just went crazy. And a lot of people are saying that maybe it's because they removed the EV, the mandate. What is it? It was the credits or whatever. Like $5,000 of every electric vehicle or every Tesla that was being bought was actually going from the government to Tesla rather than the customer to Tesla.
Yeah.
And so the accusation was that Elon was pissed about that, and that there was estimations that Tesla could lose potentially up to like 40-50% of its profits going forward because of this and some of the stuff. And so it almost seemed like, all right, that's explainable why Elon would be pissed. But at the same time, Donald Trump, it was never wavering. He said it during his campaigns that, look, we love Elon, we love his electric cars, but we love gas. We love gas more. And so, you know what I mean? He emphasized that we're gas lovers. And so he's made steadfast on that. Maybe Elon tried to buddy up to him and buy his way into persuading him like a lobbyist would, and it didn't work, and now he's pissed. But Greg once again pops up here and says Elon and Trump should both post they were hacked and let's move on. I thought that was good. Our friend Native Patriot posted, everybody chill, it's probably going to be fine. Everything's fine on dumpster fire.
Well, and one thing that's actually a little bit of a nuanced thing here too that I didn't mention on my stream and just realized too, as it pertains to the bill, Trump has said, and I don't know if it's in either of those Truth Social posts, it might be one that would happen just prior to the big crash out, where he's saying that Elon knew it was in the bill, and even said a statement that Elon understood the bill better than anybody understood the bill. And Elon said, I didn't even see the damn bill. So now it's like, is Trump lying or is Elon lying? or is this kind of like the Trump rhetoric, right, where he just says things that seem to make sense, even though they might not have any kind of stake in actual reality? Um, which is also another through line here, which is, maybe that is the case, and this is partly what's spurning the anger and why this recent fallout happened, where he had maybe an idea of what he was being told was in the bill. Then maybe he saw what was in the bill, and then he was crashing out because he was like, "Dude, this is not what the hell I was intended." You know,
Right.
it's something to think about there. And on a shot said they're both lying. They could be. Maybe both are completely lying on both ends, right? And
Right.
it's just, again, it's actually like at the end of the day, a big ego battle. And Elon's just maybe pissed about Doge not being recognized or maybe getting boxed out again by Palantir and Peter Thiel. And I'm sure we'll see. And again, still possibility of they do both say, "Oh, damn it, guys, I got hacked. Somebody got in here and hacked my Facebook, man." They said what to Trump? I'm just learning about this for the first time. Like, and just try to play it off in some way.
Yeah. Tex Bomber mentions you can go back months during campaigning over and over. Trump and Zeldin both said they're killing all EV BS. Yeah. Yeah. From then all the way to now. So, I mean, like I said, maybe that was Elon trying to buddy up to, essentially lobby Donald Trump, help him get elected, all that type of stuff that he's done in hopes that maybe he'd get a little bit of favor. But it looks like Trump is staying, true to his principle or his original goals, what he said, I guess, you know what I mean, what his principles are. And I was going to bring up I was going to reiterate what you said during your last show, but completely draw a blank. I start reading some of these ahead of time, and then
No, you're good.
But Tommy Loren posted, we probably have seen this coming. We probably should have seen this coming. Many of us did. # Team Trump. What were you going to say?
I was just going to throw in too, I find it odd that of the people that he has unfollowed, at least to my attention, was like Stephen Miller and Charlie Kirk, which I can understand Stephen Miller because Stephen Miller put out a public post. Because we even read that on the show, I believe, yesterday, where Stephen Miller was like, "This is what Elon's getting wrong about the cuts here."
Yeah.
But Charlie Kirk is like, he's like not in Congress, right? Or maybe Elon just is irritated because maybe Charlie Kirk is just always pro-Trump no matter what they do. But I thought that was a bit odd, which made me think, like, was there some kind of conversation that happened between like Charlie and him, or like TPUSA, or like how are they also, like, how is he connected, right? Like, why is it news that Charlie Kirk is getting unfollowed? Because he's obviously not a Congress person. He's just like a big talking head in the conservative, like space. Which I just, again, I'm like, maybe he's just seeing things at random and unfollowing people because he's just in the middle of a Barbie doll crash out.
Right.
Or maybe there's some kind of connection to Charlie Kirk here that's stronger than what we're led to believe.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I hadn't thought about that or drawn that connection. One bad dude posted, look, the spider caught himself a fly. And here's what we were kind of talking about before. Harry Sisson posted, it's time for the Epstein files to be released. Given what Elon Musk said about Trump, whatever the DOJ and FBI has, they need to make public now. All right. So, now there's people.
Words.
It came out sounding like a chipmunk, but yeah, I mean, now there's people saying that this is Trump and Elon playing, 4D chess, 5D chess, and they're sitting there really joking around, having a fun time watching the reaction. Let's see here. Hodge Twins posted, Epstein files got to be released, even if Trump is in there 100%, which I agree with. And it goes back to what you were saying before, like, and I've seen people in chat, they would rather burn it down than protect, like if the Epstein files come out and it's just all Fortune 500 leaders, it's going to literally cause a tidal wave across the country of destruction. A lot of people in chat were like, let us have it. We voted for painful growth with Donald Trump in these 4 years to get our children in a better position. Let's just bear the burden all right now and go through it, and we'll fight this battle, and we'll be stronger for it on the tail end. But don't drag it out till we're just fighting for the rest of our life. Let's just, you know what I mean? least give us some light at the end of the tunnel, or the end of the tunnel.
Right. And I guess there's always a bit of me having a, the tinfoil hat on. I keep going back to like, what if this is again, Palantir securing their contract, it looking like more often than not that this bill will pass, which does secure that 10-year future for AI. Maybe he saw enough and he decided, okay, now it's time. Now it's time to start priming JD Vance.
Well, maybe
Vance's run here, and we're going to start attacking Trump. And
yeah.
I can't help but think that that's their kind of their play here is they kind of all wrap themselves around
Well,
what's up,
maybe
Elon or Trump. I mean, just in order to use him to get themselves inside, and slot themselves, push Silicon Valley out. PayPal Mafia goes in, and now Palantir, Peter Thiel, and that whole network, right? The BAP sphere, if you will.
their AI.
Now they're all coming in, and they get to dominate over what was originally, Google, essentially.
Right, and that's an excellent point, because that's maybe the third aspect that Elon Musk was holding on to, was that his AI Grok would ultimately be the one that they partner with the government on. And it looks like Trump went with Palantir. So
Right.
Elon did the most out of all these people to get Trump elected, and he feels scorned. And he's just this is a bad public breakup is what this really boils down to. And I think I got the Ashley St. Clair
her tweet.
Yeah, her tweet. I put it on the thumbnail. Where did it go? Some of these are so good. Oh, there it is right there. She says, "Let me know, Donald Trump, if you need any breakup advice."
Yeah.
She retard finder said you're Evan retard, but I think a lot of people actually thought this was well timed and rather comical. See, Isabella Moody said you had sex with Elon Musk. He doesn't want your advice.
Yeah,
that's funny. But I saw TNT mention that new View show that PBD's broadcasting, putting out. I've watched 1 or 2 episodes. I appreciate the effort of what they're doing over there.
Notable on it?
Oh yeah, it's I saw Lindy Lee, I saw Anna Kasparian, I saw the fitness lady,
Jillian Michaels.
Yeah, Jillian Michaels. Who else? Somebody was just on Tim Pool, a woman just on Tim Pool the other day, and it wasn't.
Was she the one that got into the argument with him a couple weeks ago?
And they asked, no, it was just a few days ago, I think. And she said that they asked her if she wanted to be a part of it. Can't remember who it was.
Interesting.
It might have been the one he got in an argument with, but I think it was more recent than that.
Oh, Erudite. Okay, so she's the one that got in an argument with Andrew Wilson.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm pretty sure, right? Wasn't that from the Whatever podcast? I believe. Not so erudite. It sounds very familiar. I'm assuming. I know that she's like one of the bigger ones in like the debate circles for like feminism and stuff.
Right. I want to say it was a conservative person, but I'm not sure. I can't remember now. But anyways, it's a good group of people, to be honest with you. It's a good mix of ladies, and it's like, okay, well, maybe I should actually watch it more. I do see the suggestions on my main page, and I skip it sometimes, but maybe I need to mix it back in a little bit. Mix it in a little bit. The first one was good.
I do have to bounce because my daughter just got here, so I do have to bounce off and take care of her. Good luck streaming with this, man.
Yeah.
Keep pushing, keep going. Might as well while it's a hot topic and everything keeps coming in. And thanks everybody who was here. I do appreciate everybody if you did follow over from my my stream over here. Make sure you smash the like button as well. And as always, Christ is King.
Yeah, man.
And I will see you guys probably tomorrow if I get a chance. So we'll see.
And we'll be back on the jar openers on Saturday for sure as well. Yeah, man, go take care of the family. We'll catch you later.
Yep. 07, everybody. Take it easy.
Later. All right. Let's see here. What do we got? Musk is literally doing the same exact thing as Ford, but in EV. There's plenty of innovation going on. That's a weird statement, especially since Carnegie and Ford bought all their innovations too. Yeah, definitely. So let's look at some more of these reactions, because there's There's just so many, and like I said, some are so funny. I didn't vote on this, but I reposted it. I wanted to get the reaction or the results live with you guys, but he posted this. I think these last 24 hours. So yeah, he posted it 3 hours ago. It's got 20 hours left, and already has 68,790 votes. And so Patrick Bed David, he asked, who do you believe, Trump, Musk, or neither? I'm gonna go with neither right now. And wow, most people are going with Musk. Secondly is neither, and least of all is Trump. Interesting. I didn't actually didn't know what to expect, but I don't think I expected those results. That's for sure. I figured neither was probably going to be number one, but Musk is almost beating Trump 2-1, so that's interesting. Let's see here. Jake Paul said one of the problems with the Republican Party is the display is on display today. As a current Republican, we unfortunately have these alpha male egos and leaders who aren't mature enough sometimes. They're 50 plus years old and diss-tweeting each other. Elon and Trump are great, but they need to work together and not make America look bad. Definitely. I feel like I did when David Lee Roth left Van Halen. That's pretty funny. That's a good one. So then Alex Jones says the world stands on the brink of total destruction in response to Elon's post. And then this is where like the hypocrisy starts coming in. Dom LaCree asks, so you let a man that is supposedly implicated on the Epstein list babysit your kid? It's not adding up. It's someone isn't being truthful. I mean, it's a good analogy or good question scenario, but Elon was there. I don't think that they were actually like he like sent him on and they parted ways. But I mean, I get the sentiment. This is Elon. That was a good one. Trump next. Call me a retard. It's like they're having fun with this back and forth. This person says, "What are the odds that it actually happens?" I don't think that's the case. To be honest with you, they don't need this type of publicity. There's no real like huge need for it. Trump's numbers were doing good. Elon was numbers were good. Yeah. Elon famously responsible with his children. I don't know. I mean, he's got so many. I don't know how he can be there for 13 plus. Run SpaceX, Tesla, everything else that they got going on over there as well. X. But you think they'd have plenty of money. Eric Swalwell, release the Epstein files now. So this one's hilarious, of all people. Swalwell. And then Milo, this one is funny. He says, you see this kind of mess, you see the kind of mess it makes when there are two dads. Oh, that was good. That one's really good. Temple said Milo's been on fire all week. Greg, for a third time on the show, breaking, Secret Service was spotted escorting several locksmiths to the White House to replace locks as Trump remembers. He gave, I thought there was an S in there. As Trump remembers, he gave Elon a key last week. This is funny. You're being sarcastic. Yeah. I thought you were being sarcastic, to be honest, Fosimo. I wasn't sure, but I thought you were. But yeah, definitely, he's not the best kid or father. There's pretty much no way you can. Just a little law of numbers. But yeah. Yeah. Just so we know, guys, Fosimo is sarcastic sometimes. We don't know you that well yet, bud, so I appreciate you been here for the last few shows. And yeah, if you wanted to plug in to the community, you might probably recognize most of the folks in chat. We're all over on the Discord as well. See Democrats here, kill the bill and release the Epstein files. Dom LaCree posted breaking. Democrats are now requesting to release the Jeffrey Epstein files. Could this be the greatest 5D chess of all time? I don't think so, but I do like to see that the Democrats are suddenly on board. You know what I mean? Some of the scenarios with, if Trump has been on there. Why didn't the Democrats release it all this time? Well, maybe there's more Democrats on it than just Trump, and it's more damage to them, and it's just the lesser of two evils or something, possibly. Hard to say. Let's see. Luke Rakowski said, we're in trouble when Kanye is the voice of reason. That was in response to Kanye's "Bro, please no." That one got me. And then Dinesh D'Souza, he reposted Donald Trump said restraint, this is the way. And this was Trump's response. And he said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, 1.6 trillion, and the biggest tax cut we've ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it and put our country on a path of greatness, make America great again. So I like that Donald Trump understands that he's probably not going to fix a lot of things, but he can certainly put us on a path of greatness. We also need Congress's assistance to codify some of his, executive orders into the law and things like that. But, moving on, we got another, if the president Donald Trump is everything that they're saying he is, then why did this happen? I mean, it's a good question. It's a good question. This one is funny. Not Jerome Powell said, I knew it. And he posted Jim Cramer. What a beautiful relationship between Elon and Trump. I'm very bullish on this. And, Jim Cramer, notorious for being, wrong with stocks and whatever. I don't know. I don't follow him, but, the Jim Cramer jokes. Always wrong about whatever, right? When it's convenient, especially. Viva Frey, and just like that, Elon Musk proved the true fears of everyone on the left. The true fears everyone on the left had about following him to have success to confidential government data. I'm reading that completely wrong. I said success instead of access. I'm going to start that one over, you guys. And just like that, Elon Musk proved true the fears everyone on the left had about allowing him to have access to confidential government data. Just like that, Elon Musk proved true the accusations that he thought he was president. There is no who do you side with, Elon or Trump? Trump was elected. Elon Musk is seemingly trying to topple the duly elected president. So Viva's on Team Trump. And then Blair White weighed in and said, I did not foresee Trump and Elon having the ugliest gay divorce in Pride Month history, which got me. That one I was laughing for a minute earlier today. Let's see here. Kim, this is funny. Kim Jong-un, this is not a real post, but Kim be a rocket man. Kim be a rocket man now. F that asshole. I was going to do it in an Asian accent, but I just can't bring myself to be that brave. Steven Crowder would have, but In-N-Out Burger even capitalizing here. Friendships come and go, but In-N-Out will always be here for you. So, I guess a little plug for them because it was funny. And then Elon Musk in his tirade today said, where's Mike Johnson? And so Speaker Mike Johnson actually came out and responded to that and said that Mike Johnson of 2023 is the same Mike Johnson who has always been a lifelong fiscal hawk, who now serves as speaker and is implementing a multi-stage plan to get our country back to fiscal responsibility and extraordinary economic growth. It begins with the critically important One Big Beautiful Bill that includes the largest mandatory spending cut of federal government to the federal government in history by almost 400%, the largest tax cut in history, the largest investment in border security in a generation, along with arguably the strongest collection of pro-growth provisions ever passed. The same consistent Mike Johnson who has always supported the America First agenda. So he didn't take kindly to Elon Musk naming his name. We got Ashley St. Clair there. That one was good. Jeremy Prime, D-Day Cobra. You guys might know him as he posted, Elon got fired. He's a disgruntled former employee. And he accompanied that with this post from Trump that said, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars, and now that nobody else wanted, and he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. Which, this reminds me of the same, like we've seen this MO before, right? Anytime anybody has been fired from Trump's cabinet, they end up writing a book about how terrible Donald Trump is, right? It's like the same reaction we've come to know, from his first term, which, all right, Donald Trump fired you, now go on the media circuit talking shit on Donald Trump. It's not the first time, it's not the last time, and I think this is just one of many. And unfortunately, Elon has that like bit of autism or whatever people think. And I know he's like being prescribed ketamine. And today, a lot of things have been going around, people accusing him of being on drugs and stuff like that. And we even have Steve Bannon went so far as to call for Elon Musk being deported because of his drug use. Elon is exactly like Ben Affleck in The Accountant. I haven't seen that. He didn't complete the goal, so he went crazy. House says Carnegie modernized steel production. I genuinely despise Carnegie as a person. The point I was trying to make was that most of the Fortune 500 CEOs have no understanding of production. Oh, interesting. Let's see. Weird. Looks like okay, no, that's just StreamYard acting weird. All right. The numbers just dropped like in less than half. I'm like, what's going on here? That's weird. But it's just not picking up my X viewers. Which, by the way, the link to my X and Atlas's X is in the description. The link to my main channel, America First TV, as well as Atlas's main channel, is also in the description. Guys, make sure you're subscribed to both places and this one as well. We're doing all the live stuff over here. Well, at least me, I do most of my live stuff over here. I think I'm going to start doing some more lives on my my main channel. Maybe even do some daily, like midday news. I just have a lot of fun with that type of stuff. But let's see, what else do we got? Well, that was all I got for the reactions. Let's have a look at the some of the videos. The video reactions. Okay, we'll start with Steve Bannon's reaction since I just mentioned it. Sorry, this is as loud as the audio goes. Oh, thanks, House. I forgot. I had to block the sound off because Atlas was echoing. Let me give me 1 second here. My bad. I'm sitting here just showing you guys Steve Bannon mouthing words. All right, I can include sound now. Let me know if this echoes or anything. If it does, we'll just be SOL on the audio for these ones. But here, I'll start this one over.
Elon Musk is working for himself. President Trump empowered him more than anyone's ever been empowered in this government, had his back, promoted this guy. And when people like me who said, you're making a mistake, right? This is a bad guy. He's going to turn on you. He's not with us. He's also totally incompetent. And President Trump said, hey, give this guy a shot. And I trust President Trump's judgment enough to say, as people know, I backed off a little, right? Not a lot, I backed off a little. But it's not about observations. As soon as he didn't think he ran the deal or got the adoration, right, that he was starting to be saying, where's the $1 trillion, right? What is this? He turned on President Trump. He turned on MAGA. But most importantly, he turned on the country and the American people. And President Trump just had enough of it. Yeah. And he forced his way back in to have like some last day. They didn't want to do that. But fine. And then as soon as President Trump comes out today, and President Trump saying it in the nicest way possible about the bill, right? The bill, bing, bang, bang. The guy gets up and starts tweeting the most vicious stuff you could tweet. So all the fanboys defend this. He accused President Trump of basically being a group with those pedophiles on the island. He called for the president to be impeached and J.D. Vance to take his role. As hard as we've worked in all the years that we've worked in this audience's work, some punk is going to sit there and go, he should be impeached. And hey, as sure as the turning of the earth, if those progressives rub up on him and say, hey, they're never going to buy the Teslas, we're going to buy the Teslas, they rub up on him, he'll write a $500 million check for Hakeem Jeffries. He'll be across the thing looking to impeach President Trump, looking to help steal the 28 election, looking to imprison President Trump. So here's my point. Let's get ahead of it.
Yeah, let's get ahead of it. I think that might be where he went on to call for the deportation of Elon Musk, and basically, called to deport him for drug use, which is crazy. It's a wild
Elon
scenario.
Musk is working for himself. President.
Let's see. Elon Musk suggested Trump should be impeached and replaced with J.D. Vance as he makes chilling recession prediction. As Steve Bannon alluded to, he went on to say that Donald Trump should be impeached. So Elon Musk agreed Thursday that President Trump should be impeached and replaced with 40-year-old Vice President J.D. Vance amid fiery falling out on Thursday. Ex-user Ian Miles Chong, who I'm not a big fan of at all, wrote, President versus Elon, who wins? My money is on Elon. Trump should be impeached and J.D. Vance should replace him. Yes, Musk responded, and I believe he actually reposted it. He also predicted that Trump's tariff policy would create economic turmoil. So, it's pretty crazy. One of Trump's oldest advisors, Steve Bannon, went on to further suggest that African-born Musk should be deported. Pretty wild. So then, Candace Owens even weighed in. Everybody's been on this. It's a huge story, right? So let's just hear what Candace has to say.
I guess everybody's just a bandwagon fan. And because Trump was on the bandwagon, everyone just got on the Elon Musk bandwagon, no questions asked. The petty behavior when he was like blocking accounts and taking away check marks because somebody disagreed with him over H-1B visas. I don't even know how you can productively run 3 businesses if that's your approach to life. If when you get angry, you try to make people suffer, whether it's your baby mama or it's someone who's just disagreeing with you over H-1B visas. That's babyish behavior. And I struggle to believe that he is heading up 3 companies if this is how he acts, because you can't unite people around that kind of behavior. I guess everybody's just.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you got that much money, maybe people will let you get away with that stuff. Terrence K. Williams weighed in. He said, get this to Elon Musk. Elon Musk, please call President Trump. You just got to play this. I love how he is in his videos.
Oh my God, my head is about to explode. Elon, pick up the phone and call President Trump. Just pick up the phone and call the president. You have his personal phone number. Pick up the phone and call him. Y'all, it is so much going on right now. Literally, it is too much going on at one time. Every time I get on the internet, it's something new. Every time I log on, it is something new going on. Something absolutely crazy. Elon and President Trump, y'all don't need to be fighting each other. Y'all need to be fighting Congress because Congress is the problem.
Right.
Now, Elon.
And I think Congress is part of the reason why Elon's pissed is, they won't do anything with the Doge stuff. He wasted his time. He's like, I could have been working on other stuff or spending time with my kids. Wasted 130-ish days.
You can easily call President Trump. Please get off the internet and call him. You have literally been hanging with President Trump for a while.
Right.
You have been at Mar-a-Lago having dinner with him, staying at his properties, you can call him.
Oh yeah, they're hanging out at UFCs and everything like that. You know, that's the other part about this is, you know, guys get in fights and then get over it pretty quickly. So it's just a shame that Elon Musk is publicizing, you know, just making this as public as possible, right?
Y'all have spent countless of days together. Literally, so much personal time. Running around the country like brothers.
Right, with these kids and stuff like
Call
that.
President Trump on the phone. We don't want to see y'all fighting on the internet. We don't want to see that. We don't want that. And we don't have time for that. Call
Nobody
him.
got time for that.
Get off of X. I know it's your platform, but get off of X and
Right.
call Trump. Have you called him? Is he not picking up your calls? Is he not answering you? What's going on? Why are you coming to X when you can easily dial his number? Both of y'all could be right. It's possible to be right at the same. It is possible for both of y'all to be right about this big, beautiful bill.
Besides
Maybe
the
there is
numbers.
too much stuff in there. And there's a lot of great stuff in there. Work it out. Congress, go after them.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like him. He's got a lot of energy. He's remained consistent for a while too. Jesse Waters says that Elon Musk doesn't actually know if Trump is on the Epstein list.
Didn't mean that. Sometimes when you're angry, you say things you don't mean. Greg knocked my hair last week, and I said he's on the Epstein list.
Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't mean that. I made it up.
How did you know, though?
How did Musk know? No one knows what the list is. He didn't know. But sometimes guys fight. Guys sometimes will punch you in the face, and the next night you're having a beer. Sleep with your girlfriend, and you patch things up.
Really?
Your girlfriend.
Who are your friends?
I said, really?
No one slept with my girlfriend. Let's put it that way.
Oh, my word.
These guys are like roommates. They were living in close quarters for like the first 6 months of the year. They're just blowing off steam. The issue is donor maintenance. This guy's the mega donor. So you don't want him accusing you of being a pedophile, and you don't want him calling for your impeachment. I hope he doesn't mean that, but maybe they can patch things up. I mean, Vance called Trump Hitler, and he's on the ticket. Sometimes when you're angry, you say,
That's a good point about Vance. Trump and Vance relationship. Interesting. Thomas Massey, you know, he's been kind of on the Elon side of this, I think, for the most part, or at least early on, is with Elon's position with the big beautiful bill. And he pointed this out. He said the falling out was inevitable. You don't land rockets backwards or get cars to drive themselves by suffering fools gladly. And check this out. This is from March 27th.
That's a real untold story here, and I think we may be on a collision course. Like, I think there's three cars coming together at an intersection, and they don't realize they're going to hit. And one of them is Congress, with Mike Johnson driving, is in one of these cars. Trump obviously is one of these cars. Maybe he's the train. And then there's another car, which is Doge. And I don't think Elon Musk is going to suffer these fools once he finds out how foolish they are or duplicitous they are.
Mm-hmm.
You don't land rockets backwards.
Catch them with
You don't
chopsticks.
get cars to drive themselves on the interstate by ignoring the fools that you're working with. That's a real untold story here, and I think we may be on a collision course.
Yeah. So Thomas Massey, although he is at odds with Trump, and Trump I don't think is a Massey fan at all, wasn't wrong about that, and he's been right about a lot of things that he's predicted. And then this is the last thing I got for you guys. This is Scott Jennings' reaction to everything that's going on. And sorry, my wife just came in here. But yeah, Scott Jennings' response, 55 seconds. Let's check it out.
Who gets you in the divorce, Trump or Elon?
Let me just tell
Okay,
you what
I
every
forget that,
Republican
but-
is doing. I have my. Here's where we are today. We're literally heads are in the garbage can right now. That's the state of everybody I know at the moment. Not gonna lie, it's an ugly day, and you know, you hate it when your friends are fighting. I continue to believe that their partnership last year saved America, and I also continue to believe their goals are not mutually exclusive. Trump needs to pass his agenda, which this bill is his agenda. It's what he ran on. Elon wants to save America from going bankrupt, which they can also do if the Republicans in Congress and everybody works together. All of these things can happen. When fights get personal, though, it means the enemy is advancing. And in this case, it means the Democrats are laughing and advancing. So hopefully cooler heads will soon prevail and the president can get his agenda and Elon can convince the Republicans that the debt is a serious problem. But not going to lie, rough day for the Republicans.
Who gets you in?
Yep. I think well said there by Scott Jennings. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. We, the emergency jar openers podcast, not part of the normal schedule. The normal schedule is Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. We usually run for about 2 hours. I've noticed that the Wednesday show, if we end right at about 9, Native Patriot goes live right afterwards. So might try to start working out. Like I said earlier, I'm going to start trying to work out something with him as far as helping each other out. That's what we got to do around here with this alt media, right? But anyways, make sure you're subscribed. We're over on Rumble as well. That link is not around, but you can look it up. It's actually under America First TV. But we're over there. We're on X. We're on YouTube. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. And thanks for showing up. Appreciate everybody for being in chat. Like I said, it's not a normal day that we're live. So what else we got? Make sure you guys click that Discord link. Still waiting for some of you guys to join us in there. But yeah, other than that, I'm still gonna do the normal. I'm gonna close this out with just find out what the verse of the day is from the YouVersion Bible app. And that's 1 Chronicles 16, verse 11. Look to the Lord in his strength. Seek his face always. So that's a good one. 1 Chronicles 16, verse 11. And with that, I look forward to seeing you guys again on Saturday. And we'll see you then. Christ is King.
With war rolling Atlas thug, we here to bring the truth. Jar open this podcast, we breaking through the fake news. They try to silence us, but we will be subdued. We're bearded alpha males here to save the youth. Spitting fire on the mic with the bass, Christian takes. Exposing the lies, keeping the demons at bay. We ain't afraid to speak up, we won't be swayed. Jar open this podcast, where the truth is laid. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. We ain't playing games, we're on a mission to awaken the masses with our intuition. Pulling out the corruption with no inhibition. Jar open this podcast, sparking a revolution. We're not afraid to stand tall in a world full of deceit. We're the voice of reason, bringing light to the street. Keeping it real, never missing a beat. Jar open this podcast, where the truth meets the heat. Jar openers, cracking open the lies. We're rolling Atlas thug, we're here to rise. Bearded alpha males saving the youth from the godless demons, spreading the truth. Jar open this podcast, where the truth will never cease. Join us on the journey to bring back peace. We're rolling Atlas thug, fearless in our release. Jar open this podcast, where the lies will decrease.